Howdy folks, and welcome to my underpowered Stamina Necromancer PvP build. In this video I will showcase two versions of this build. One is focused more on damage and one is focused more on survivability. Both of these setups are fairly easy to play and extremely fun. So this is an Orc Necromancer. I put 24 points into health, 40 points in stamina, which gives me 14k magicka, 28k health and 29k stamina. I'm using the Serpent Mundus Stone, Lava Foot Soup and Salt Rice, and I'm also Vampire Stage 4. Now this Vampire Stage 4 is extremely important for this build and I will explain that later on. For the sets, I'm using, on the more damage focused build, I'm using Magma Incarnate Monster set, which gives you magicka and stamina recovery, both extremely useful. And then when you heal yourself with a single target heal ability, you gain Minor Courage and Minor Resolve, which increases your weapon and spell damage by 215 and your armor by almost 3k. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. On the chest, I'm using the Gallant Chain, which is a part of the trainee set. You get this from Stros Mackay as a quest reward. It takes about 5 minutes to do, and it's a heavy reinforced chest piece. Now on the front bar, I'm using Deadlands Assassin Sharpened Maul, which gives you weapon and spell damage, more weapon and spell damage, maximum stamina, more weapon and spell damage, and when you deal damage with a heavy attack, it causes you to throw a cone of knives, dealing 4.6k physical damage to enemies hit. If an enemy hit has less than 50% health, they also take additional 10k bleed damage over 14 seconds. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. So this is one of the reasons why you do not really care about the Vampire Stage 4 regular ability cost increase. You use heavy attacks. A lot of them, because they do additional damage. Now, I'm also using the most overpowered mythic item in PvP, Malakat's Band of Brutality. And on the back bar, I'm using Essence Thief. What this set gives you is stamina, more stamina, weapon and spell damage. And when you deal damage with a light or heavy attack, you draw essence from the enemy that pulls near them for 5 seconds. Drawing from the pool heals you for 5k and restores 4.2k stamina. But the most important part is it also increases your damage done by 10% for 10 seconds. Now what it looks like is this. You see this green spot? If you take it, there it is, increased damage done by 10%. So every time you light attack, you get health, stamina, and 10% more damage. This is another reason why you do not really care about the Vampire regular ability cost increase, because you get a lot of resources back from the Essence Thief, plus heavy attacks. For the skills, on the front bar, Blighted Blast Bones. Fantastic skill, especially for PvP, because it deals a lot of damage, 18.7k, but it also applies Major Defile to the target and everyone within 6 meters for 4 seconds. which reduces their healing received and health recovery by 16%. Now, we've all met those tanky boys with 50k health and 40k resistances. When you get them down to almost like no health, they pop a heal and within a second they're back on full health. This helps you with that tremendously because it reduces the healing received and health recovery especially by 16%. The second skill is Rally, which gives you weapon damage and stamina recovery, and also heals you when it ends or when you cast it early. Right? Every time you cast it early, it also activates Magma Incarnate. No, what is it? Minor Courage. Must have missed it. But it also, Rally activates Magma Incarnate. Next skill, Elusive Mist. You don't use this as a disengagement tool. What you use it for is this, Strike from Shadows. When you are a vampire stage 2 or higher, when you leave sneak, invisibility or mist form, your weapon and spell damage is increased by 300 for 6 seconds. So you use it as a damage increase buff. Every time before you engage in combat, you pop it, press block, and there you have it, 300 weapon and spell damage. Now, this passive is also fantastic because as a stage 4 vampire, if you sprint for 3 seconds, you become invisible. Which means you can use this either as a disengagement tool when you're outnumbered and you know you're gonna die, you just cannot survive that. You just run away. After 3 seconds, you're invisible and you're good to go. Another thing is, this is an engagement tool as well, especially in battlegrounds like Capture the Flag or Capture the Relic battlegrounds. What you can use this for, you simply start sprinting, get all the way to the enemy base, park yourself against the wall, and technically you're still sprinting, so you're invisible. You wait for everyone to leave, or maybe there may be like one defender left for to defend the relic. When everyone's gone, you pop out of invisibility. Again, 300 more weapon and spell damage. This is just fantastic. Being a stage 4 vampire is just brilliant. Especially because unnatural movement. It reduces the cost of sprint by 50%. Now, you are also an orc. So you have another 12% cost reduction and 10% movement speed bonus. This is just fantastic. Sprinting as a stage 4 vampire on this build is just brilliant. So the next skill is Executioner, self-explanatory. Your executes. Your main spammable, Dizzy Swing, and these two, Dizzy Swing and Blast Bones, these two skills are your main source of damage. Right? So, Dizzy Swing, Blast Bones, Dizzy Swing, Dizzy Swing, Blast Bones, Dizzy Swing, Dizzy Swing, Blast Bones. Right? It deals a lot of damage. And also every 15 seconds or so, especially if the target has less than 50% health, you just do a heavy attack, activate the Deadlands Assassin. Brilliant. Now, your ultimate is not the Colossus or Goliath. It's the Vampire Swarming Scion. What this does, when you pop it, you get a ring of bats flying around you, and they shred enemies. Right? 5.4k magic damage every 1 second. You also gain 10k magicka, stamina, and health. This literally melts enemies. This ultimate. It's a bit pricey, 254, but it's well worth using it. Right? Again, what it does, you pop this, and everyone inside this ring, and the ring is quite big, is being melted away. And on top of that, you use all your abilities. You keep doing damage. They just cannot survive this. This is so much damage, so much healing reduction, so much everything. They just cannot survive this. Now, for the back bar, you've got your Spirit Guardian. You should try to have this up at all times, mainly because the 10% damage reduction, and it heals you by a lot. Next skill is the Summoner's Armor, which gives you physical and spell resistances, but also reduces the cost of the Spirit Guardian and Blast Bones while active. Right, you pop this, and everything costs less. This and this. Next one is Reverberating Bash, which is your stun. You use it to stun those pesky Nightblades that try to run away. You just bash them and then kill them. Next thing, which adds to the survivability and sustain of this build, is Mortal Coil, which heals you for 26k over 12 seconds, and you also restore 130 stamina every second for 12 seconds. And also the healing done while slotted is increased by 3%, so Vigor and the Spirit Guardian are basically stronger. And again, last skill is the Vigor. Your main oh shit button. When you need it, you just pop it and you're good to go. The ultimate is the Temporal Guard from Sijic skill line. You don't ever use this. You use it only there on the bar to have the minor protection, reducing your damage taken by 5%. So this is the more damage-oriented build. Damage from Magma Incarnate, Essence Thief 10% more, and a lot of weapon and spell damage, and heavy attack damage from Deadlands Assassin. I'm also using double dot poison on the front bar and brutality draining poison on the back bar. Now, the second build, as I've mentioned, is focused more on survivability. It deals very respectable, almost the same damage. Well, almost. Slightly less. But the survivability of this particular build is just insane. So this doesn't use any monster set, only Balor Garncops for the weapon and spell damage. And the first 5-piece set that I'm using is Pariah, which is always active on both bars, which gives you health, armor, and up to 10k physical and spell resistances, depending on your missing health. So this is head, chest, legs, and 2 pieces of jewelry, all infused. By the way, the jewelry pieces on the first bill are infused as well, with weapon damage glyphs, all of them. So this guarantees that you are extremely tanky and survivable on both bars. It doesn't matter if you're on your damage or healing bar, you're extremely resistant. The front bar set is Deadlands Assassin. This set is just so good. it's fantastic. It does a lot of damage, provides some sustain because you need heavy attack to activate the 5th piece proc condition. It provides you with sustain because you heavy attack, and it deals a lot of damage, right? Now for the skills, the front bar is the same, but there is a difference on the back bar. Instead of the bash, this one, you use pierce armor, which reduces the enemy's armor by 9k, minor and major breach. This debuffs the enemy, which makes them easier to kill. But also, we're using this, the Master's one-handed shield. Now you don't need the perfected version. The difference is 3% healing taken. You don't really care about that. You've got enough healing, especially if you use this set, because every time you deal damage with a puncture, you heal for 4.7k. This can go up right, what is it? There it is. This can go up to around 5.1k. This healing when you activate all your buffs and stuff like that. So you heal for a lot, and on top of that you gain spell and physical resistance equal to the amount of healing or overhealing done for 5 seconds. So every time you feel like you need to go on defensive, you switch to your black bar, you activate your Spirit Guardian, Summoner's Armor, Mortal Coil, Vigor if you need to, and you poke somebody. Every time you poke someone, 5k health and 5k resistances. On top of everything else. Right? And if you pop this, you're sitting at 29k resistances. But then you have this pariah. It can go even higher and higher and higher. Plus, see, 37k. Right? 28k just for this. But when you poke someone, 34. Depending on your buffs and stuff like that, right? So you literally, like 1v1, 1v2, 1v3, you cannot die with this setup. You have got so much healing and resistances out of this and damage reduction that you simply cannot die. Plus, you deal very respectable damage. 18.6k with the Blighted Blast Bones, 15k with the Dizzy Swing, and 4.7k almost with the bats. Unbuffed, right? Let's look at this. 5.2k with the bats, 17k Dizzy Swing, 21k almost with Blast Bones. And again, that's without the Elusive Mist active, right? So this can go so much higher. For example, let's try this again. This one, this, and 6.8k damage. This is pure insanity, this build. Now, for the champion points, I use the same CP setup on both builds. Green Tree, Gifted Rider, Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, Steed's Blessing. Pick whatever you like. The Blue Tree, Focused Mending to increase your healing done with single target abilities. Next one is Ironclad. reduces your damage taken by direct damage attacks by 2%. Next one is Deadly Aim and Master at Arms to increase your single target and direct damage. If you have enough champion points, take all the passives that you can, right? These ones. Even though you're a stamina build, take the Flawless Ritual and War Mage. They buff your bats from your ultimates, right? So once again, Focused Mending, Ironclad, Deadly Aim, Master at Arms. And the red tree is Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Sustained by Suffering, which is down here. Increases your health, magic and stamina recovery by 30 up to 150 while under the effect of a negative effect. Basically in PvP you're always under some negative effect, so why not? And the last one is Pain's Refuge, which reduces your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects on you. Again, you've got bleeds, you've got dots, you've got AoEs in PvP, so this is fantastic. Again, if you have enough champion points, take all the passives that you can. So that's about it. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.